Good luck. She can record, but she's sitting here. I'm sorry. Because these chairs are swishy.
Why you couldn't go over there? Somebody's sitting there.
That's mine.
Okay.
Well, not mine, hers.
Right.
But I talked too much, so I lost my seat. Look. All these people want to talk. Not me. Wendy be breaking crap. You need super glue.
Do what? I'm gonna hold down the fort to be all right.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. McCready? Here. Ms. Poole? Here. Mr. Brown?
Present.
Ms. Tuck? Here. Mr. Huffman?
Present.
Mr. Rexroad?
Here.
Mr. Borkowski?
Here.
Ms. Daly? Here. Mr. Reynolds?
Council, the minutes of the previous meeting have been distributed to you. Do you have any additions or corrections? Hearing none, the minutes will be adopted as presented. Do we have any reports from standing or special committees tonight? Hearing none, we'll move on. Mayor, do you have a message tonight?
I do, thank you. We'll start with, Connie should have a nomination requiring confirmation for the Avery Historic District. That will be the first thing.
A message from the executive. Mayor Joyce nominates Jenny Brennan, 1319 Market Street, to the Avery Historic District Architectural Review Board for a three-year term to expire March of 2028, and she's with us this evening. It requires your confirmation, President.
Mrs. Cole.
Move for the approval of Jamie Brown for the Avery Historic District Architecture.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any questions from council? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, vote please.
Mr. McCready?
Yes.
Ms. Poole?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Tuck? Yes. Mr. Huffman?
Yes.
Mr. Rexroad?
Yes.
Mr. Borkowski?
Yes.
Ms. Daly?
Yes.
Mr. Reynolds?
Yes. Confirmation passes.
Thank you, sir. Now I'm gonna ask, we should have some folks from the Art of the Ohio Valley here. Can they come forward? I think, don't we have some board members back there too?
We do.
Come forward as well. And Connie has a proclamation that she's gonna read, and I'm gonna give you guys the original while she's reading. Fair enough?
Whereas National Development Disabilities Awareness Month officially began in 1987 with a proclamation from President Reagan to help bring awareness and acceptance for people with every ability. And whereas in March, we seek to raise awareness about the inclusion of people with developmental disabilities in all facets of community life, as well as awareness of the barriers that people with disabilities still sometimes face in connecting to the community in which they live. And whereas the City of Parkersburg has a commitment to being an inclusive state for all people with and without disabilities, and whereas people with a developmental disability are of all races, ethnic, educational, social, economic backgrounds, and all are valued members of society who find fulfillment living every striving for everyday lives no different from that of all other citizens. And Tom Joyce, Mayor of the City of Parkersburg, does hereby proclaim March 2025 as Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month, and in doing so, call upon the residents, employers, schools, and community organizations around the city to observe this month with recognition of the abilities and value provided by people with disabilities in our community every day.
I'm Michelle Curtis, the Executive Director of the ARC of the Ohio Valley and the ARC of West Virginia. And I just want to thank you all, City Council, as well as Mayor Joyce, for allowing us to come and remind folks about Developmental Disability Awareness Month. Also, it's a great time to put in there a little reminder with all of the proposed funding cuts on the federal level to make sure that you keep in mind the protections that Medicaid provides for people with developmental differences that rely on home and community-based waiver services to stay integrated in their own communities, to be able to work and live alongside their peers like everyone else. And so that's a little bit about the snapshot of the sheet that was laid out before you all. To bring it back locally, some upcoming things that are going on at the ARC of the Ohio Valley that we have in store right now is a scholarship opportunity for students that are going to pursue a career field that has to do with working with people, to enrich the lives of people with developmental differences. We also have an inclusive summer day camp coming up this summer for 4 weeks. And more information about those things can be found at our website, thearcandmobi.org. And then finally, we have coming up in May a golf scramble, which is our first ever fundraiser for that item. So with that all being said, I will pass it over to our self-advocate coordinator for People First West Virginia, Morgan Spicer.
Thank you all for allowing me the chance to speak tonight. Some quick facts: over 33,000 West Virginia residents have intellectual and developmental disabilities. 18% of working-age adults with cognitive disabilities have jobs in the community. We believe in the potential of all individuals with disabilities, and their contributions to the workforce is just as profound as yours and mine. Thank you very much.
That's all I have. Thank you.
At this time, we will open our public forum. Each speaker who signed up for the forum will have about 3 minutes to speak. Our public forum is 30 minutes total in length, and it looks like we have Carrie Tyler. Our public forum is open.
Tonight I'm going to ask you to vote no on Resolution 2. Restricting us to non-agenda items does not help communication. This furthers the gap between us and you. Communicating is hard, and it's honestly uncomfortable. But pushing through and learning how to communicate properly on both sides is the only way to grow together. If you pass Resolution 2, you are shutting down the conversation. The false narratives, they're not corrected. They're just moved to a different platform. Because no one is talking. By doing this, you're not just shutting out the naysayers. You're shutting out the businessmen who want to come and invite you to the grand opening. You're shutting out the resident who is new in learning and wants to be included by maybe having an interpreter. You're shutting out the young man who's busting at the seams with ideas for this city. By passing this, you're shutting us all out. Thank you.
Chris Smith.
Good evening, everybody. Hope y'all are doing well. My stomach's bigger than it used to be. I'm just going to read a short message that I sent earlier today. In part, I want to keep it short and sweet. I really encourage you guys to vote no on Resolution 2. Carrie made some really great points a moment ago. I know that there's been an issue with misinformation from both maybe citizens and the media, but consider how this is punishing everybody for the sins of repeating. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be repercussions. I'm not saying that things shouldn't be dealt with. People should be held accountable. If it's the media, they should be held accountable. Retractions should be done. Corrections should be done. But I feel if you pass this, it will have the exact opposite effect of what you're wanting it to accomplish. In many cases, this will not only affect voices, but the ears of citizens as well. It will limit what we are exposed to, issues in our own community that we don't know about, ones that you may not be able to handle as the council, but that fellow citizens may be the solution to. Again, I really just encourage you guys to think this through. I don't think it will produce what you think it will produce. Thank you.
Ryan?
In the state of West Virginia, the law only covers the politician's financial prohibitions. There are no laws that regulate the behavior of a representative towards his constituents. That is left to the moral compass of the individual. I have spoken here. I have been critical. I have always spoken with honesty and integrity. You may not know me, and I may not have been here before now, but I am here now. And education in medicine has taught me, do no harm. But first I had to learn what harm was. I had to learn to unfailingly follow the wisdom of doctors to perform and for proper healing. The history of this nation has taught me that when injustice happens, the people must speak. Protest is often the only remedy. The bold actions of the people on Blair Mountain are a legacy that this state celebrates, that a people united can overcome any obstacle by the powers that want to exploit our citizens. The state of West Virginia has offered more veterans to the cause of freedom than any other state in the Union. We are a proud citizenry that values the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, that protects us and lights the lamp of liberty for the world. Business has informed me that when your customers and your stakeholders and your employees are upset, you must reconsider your leadership. This life experience forms my moral compass. I have worked hard through prayer and meditation to learn from my mistakes and to correct selfish behaviors. What is a father's legacy if he does not stand for this? What of my oath that I took to serve this nation if I do not speak out? What world will I leave to my children, to my granddaughter, if I remain silent? The council has already stripped away their own ability to address the public in this arena. Last time some of you expressed concern over hearing us and you being heard. You took a dialogue that we wanted. You took your ability to combat disinformation. Yet the executive and council took to the newspapers and referred to the people of the city as radical, divisive, liars, and even vagrants, shifting the blame of failures of a lack of leadership onto the people. Can you publicly listen to the people you serve, even if they are angry, or will you choose to mute them? Will you perpetuate a style of leadership that appears to exploit and oppress the people of this city? Or will you take a stand with the people who are advocating for progress?
Mr. Hagan, that's 3 minutes. Julia Lee.
Mayor Joyce, members of the City Council, good evening. I can understand that it is a problem and too many people want to speak on matters other than what council has to consider. But can there be a compromise? Can't you allow for a certain number of speakers who have issues that aren't on the meeting agenda without their speaking time, preventing council from doing if matters already scheduled? Could you develop a framework allowing time for it? In the past, district representatives could report issues and give updates on their districts in a part of a council meeting called council forum. But that has been done away with. So now, if I have a major issue, I have to hope that if my district representative can't resolve the problem on his or her own, the issue will eventually, hopefully, make it to the council meeting agenda. Otherwise, it's futile. Surely there's a compromise possible that would allow for you to hear public forum speakers who have non-agenda issues and hopefully have had their facts checked. I am respectfully asking you to consider such a compromise. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Mary Go.
Hello, good evening. I'm here tonight to say how dismayed I am that yet again, council is contemplating removal of the public forum. As council members, you are the public's representation.
It's not getting rid of the public forum, it's only making it to where they can talk about agenda items only. So I just wanted to clarify.
Okay, so you're restricting what can be spoken about in the public forum.
Okay? So as council members, you are the public's representation, but due to recent changes, you've removed your own opportunity to address issues. When this attempt was made 5 years ago, residents were told they should contact their local council person and have them address the issue. Then and now, the same problems exist. Few of you are actually easily accessible to your constituents. How many of you have planned and attended a meeting with your constituents?
Not removing it, sorry.
Eliminating some of the things we can talk about at the public forum means that contacting each of you and the mayor is the only option to address issues. When this is the non-issue and your predecessors continue to rehash while other issues go unaddressed, it's important that citizens have a way to hold you accountable should a council member not be responsive to their constituents. This makes you look bad. At a time when citizens are fighting to make their voice heard about issues that affect them personally, often in ways that you don't and can't understand, denying civic involvement sends a message that speaks much louder than your words ever could. Removing the opportunity to address issues is important enough that it was enshrined in the First Amendment, and it's a hallmark of any free society. Please don't send this message to Parkersburg's residents that you don't want to encourage their participation in the civic process. Indeed, our city would be better if more citizens participated. Thank you very much.
Really?
Charles Roberts is signed up, but I don't have an address. Mr. Roberts, if you want to come up, give us your address, and you can speak. If you don't want to give your address, then you won't be able to speak to that. You can approach the bench and add that if you want to speak. Kathy Whitlatch.
Hello, I'm here to speak on the change to public forum on the agenda. Being able to only speak on agenda items greatly limits the voice of the citizens who voted for you to represent them. By speaking during the forum, the voting people have a chance to air their concerns and also give the media a chance to report public concerns that many are unaware of and shine some light on situations which are not clear. You are elected to represent your districts. 30 minutes is very long to sit through. I have heard that the problem is that most times the speakers are complaining or upset. I worked at a car dealership, and I can tell you that the service department doesn't have people walking in and praising them. They get their car fixed. If something is wrong, the customer keeps coming back until the problem is fixed and satisfied. Customers don't usually come back and thank you for you doing your job. Just like service advisors, you are here to listen and solve problems, no matter how many times they return. You have already done away with council forum, which may have been a good time to respond to misinformation. If the same concerns are brought up to council over and over again, you might consider holding a special council meeting with a specific problem where there could be a conversation and a solution. In the end, the fact is you were elected by the people, and you should not take away the voice of the people who elected you.
Looks like our last one's Brian Bosey.
Last month I came to present a FOIA request because I was asked by two people that I know. That's all I did was present the FOIA request. The next day I get a text message saying that it was with Mike Reynolds, it was about the FOIA
Mr.
request.
Bosey, we're not going to be calling out names of anybody. If you have a problem, something you want to talk about, you can talk to me, but you're not going to call out anybody on the city.
I'm calling out
You're
you.
going to do it, not do it, or you're going to be removed from this
I know
meeting.
what a first-class jerky is.
You are a first
You
class.
called me
You
that.
are. That's right.
And you have
Now,
no right to do
You're going to
that.
have a seat, or you're going to be removed.
You have no right to do that.
Then you can be removed.
You'll be hearing from my lawyer.
Okay, I'll enjoy that. Okay, at this time, our public forum is closed.
Wait a minute.
No, there's not. I've already been through the whole list.
I filled out a paper, put it on Holly's desk, it's number 8.
I don't have it. You have it? What happened to the car? Ma'am, now is not the time. We'll find it, okay, and we'll call you in order. But now is not the time for you to talk. I got it buried in the other dates. So I've got them here now. Okay, looks like Jared Carpenter.
You guys all seem to think that I come up here because I enjoy it. This is nothing personal. My personal problems would be in a different venue than this. This is a public service announcement for you, everybody in this building, everybody in this community. I found a fallacy in my son's death with the traffic report to highlight some of the errors and issues. Right off the top, my son was subject to a talk screen. He was a victim. The driver did not get a talk screen or a urine test. It may have been ordered, that's irrelevant. We have no procedures or policies to ensure that this is done and that we have a chain of testing and procure. This is a problem. This affects everybody in this community. This type of, I can get in a mirror out of the errors, but I'm not going to. That would be on a podcast later. I've been looking to get the administration to address this. 12 months I was silent after his death. I said, I'm not gonna be silent anymore if you don't correct it. They didn't correct it. I give the police chief credit, he sent a few officers for training. This is a long and very tedious process. I've offered solutions. We need some policies and procedures to help make sure this does not happen to anybody in this community again. No family should live through this. And in lieu of that, I offer another solution. And these are facts. This is not misinformation. These are facts. Another solution is you shouldn't even touch a fatality. You should call it, just like the state police do. They do not investigate fatalities. They bring in a accident reconstruction specialist and go from there. My recommendation is to do that until we are fully trained and able to handle it. Historically, I looked online, 2019 to 22, we had 24 fatalities in this community. And we did not have anybody any better qualified then than we did now at the time of my son's death. I'm asking the administration to show some leadership, fill that hole, and protect our community from any of this ever happening again. Now, you guys, I don't know why you're doing this online, on this agenda number 2. Why, as people that represent the checks and balances for this community, are you trying to insulate people like me that are bringing, hey, it's not positive. You want to fix it, address it. That's the easiest thing to make people like me go away. But why would you want to insulate this by not letting this ever get out in public? I don't get it. I think you should do your job and not worry about insulating the administration. 85% of what comes up here, you can't do anything with anyway. It's directed solely at the administration. Period. And if you don't let them speak, no one will know. We've had a lot of good positive changes in my tenure of people coming up here and discussing the situation and becoming very positive and proactive. We jumped on it. We helped our communities. Don't shut that down.
I'd like to address the council on changing the public forum again. There seems to be a disconnect between the council and the citizens that you wish to welcome. You need to ask yourself why. Because folks come up here and sometimes say things that may not be correct, and I don't really know what the issue is. I have with this guy. Or you get offended by something someone said. If that's the case, another line of work may be needed. I would challenge you to start doing town halls in your districts, and maybe right here as a whole. You can come in as a whole. Embrace your constituents instead of trying to push them away and to silence them. The city of Parkersburg and Warren County and its citizens are going through some very difficult times, and it's only going to get worse. And you need to be prepared to hear from folks that are affected by the severe changes that are coming our way. There are now approximately 125 people that used to be employed by the Bureau, and more to come, as I understand, this week. This council and mayor need to worry about what is coming our way with the loss of good paying jobs, and what you can do to help find similar paying jobs and bring them to Parkersburg. Also, what can you do to help the people who have lost their jobs? This is what government is made for. This resolution couldn't come at a worse time. It seems as if you have no interest in what the people have to say and what could be the worst time of their lives in this city's. Quit worrying about getting your feelings hurt. There are bigger things going on right now, right here, in our own town, and you need to step up to the challenge.
Thank you very much.
I've spoken on the topic of public forum more times than I can remember. But tonight, I'm here on behalf of someone else who could not be here, but feels strongly about the issue. So I'm speaking on behalf of Sonia Ashby, who was a candidate for District 7 in the last election. She's not able to be here, but these are her words. The first time I spoke to City Council, it was on the subject of public forum. Less than a month ago, I again spoke to you on the subject of public forum. When I saw that public forum was once again on the agenda, the teacher in me felt like the constant reiteration of the issue was like a child pushing a boundary. I thought to myself, what do I have to do? Draw it in crayon? So that's what I did. This is a book. I drew it in crayon. There was once a council elected to serve the people of the city of Parkersburg. But council decided to go their own way and not give the people a voice or a say. So the people spoke out, then they spoke out again, but council kept pushing. People just couldn't win. In their zeal to silence the people they serve, they forgot that people have voices and nerve. For people in chambers must talk with respect, but in places like Facebook, who knows what to expect? Newspapers picketing so many choices for your constituents to raise their voices. One way or another, the people will speak. They won't be timid, nor mild, nor meek. And just to make sure that the message gets through, I drew it in crayon, just for you.
Your mask.
And it looks like we have time for one more. The next one is Brianna Cross.
Good evening. As you know, I'm Brianna Cross. I wanted to talk a little bit about your interpreting services under Slow Hill. This is constituent of Louisville County District 1. However, your last session that you had, I'm not sure who interpreted it, but since you guys started doing it, it's been so accessible. But I just want to make you all aware of West Virginia State Bill 245 and 119-3 that was passed March 10th of 2012. It does outline the requirements of anybody who can interpret the state of West Virginia. And that individual must register with West Virginia Commission of Deaf and Hard of Hearing, and they have to have valid licensure and certification. Again, this last session you guys had was, for me, watching it was disastrous. I missed probably 80% of what was said. So I appreciate you continuing to have a qualified and certified interpreter as you do tonight, and hopefully continue to abide by, State Bill 245 from here on out.
Thank you. At this time, we've reached the 30-minute limit for public forum, and public forum will be closed, and we'll move on to resolution number 1.
A resolution amending the CDBG budget by moving $25,300 from a 2022 allocation that was for the Family Crisis Intervention Center to the Parkersburg Arts Center for green space at 8th and Market.
Mrs. Cole. We have a motion and a second to adopt the resolution. Do we have any questions from council?
Mr. President.
Mrs. Scott.
Just a quick question. There's a deadline, I believe, that the CDBG money has to be spent by. What is?
12/39/26.
Thank you.
Anybody else on council have questions regarding resolution number 1? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, the vote, please.
Mr. McCready?
Yes.
Ms. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Borkowski?
Yes.
Ms. Daly?
Yes.
Mr. Reynolds?
Yes, resolution passes. Number 2, please.
A resolution amending the rules and regulations of Parkersburg City Council public forum that people may speak on any matter appearing on the city council agenda, and also moving a message from the executive to follow the public forum.
Mr. President,
Mr. Clerk.
move to accept the resolution. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any questions from council?
Mr. President,
Mrs. Cole.
I'd like to make an amendment to this.
Sure.
We don't have a time frame on there for, the amount of time that citizens get to speak during public forum on the, items on the agenda. It does not just carry over. So I am recommending a time frame, of, 4 minutes.
Okay. 4 minutes. Okay. We have a motion for adding a 4-minute time limit to people speaking at the public forum.
Mr. President, I just have a clarifying question. Is that 4 minutes per person or 4 minutes total?
4 minutes per person
Yes.
and 30 minutes total, or
It was just 3 minutes per person.
We're talking about items on the agenda, and it can get rather lengthy on that, if someone's second.
okay. So Mrs. Coole's amendment is 4 minutes per speaker, 40 minutes total. Does she have a second to her amendment?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions regarding Mrs. Coole's amendment? Hearing none, the vote on the amendment.
Mr. McGrady?
Yes.
Ms. Cool?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Tuck?
No.
Mr. Huffman?
No.
Mr. Rexroad?
No.
Mr. Borkowski?
Yes.
Ms. Daly?
Yes.
Mr. Reynolds?
Yes, the amendment passes. Now, as amended, please.
Mr. McGrady?
Yes.
Ms. Cool?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Tuck?
No.
Mr. Huffman?
No.
Mr. Rexroad?
No.
Mr. Borkowski?
Yes.
Ms. Daly?
Yes.
Mr. Reynolds?
Yes. Resolution passes as amended. And we have a motion to resolve into the committee of the whole and recess until 6:30 on March the 12th.
I make the motion to, go into committee of all.
We stand as the committee of the whole, and we are in recess until